The HP TouchPad, and I'll go through the hardware specifications first. It's a 9.7-inch display running at 1024 by 768, so beautiful display.
I'll wait a moment and then I'll
do it from the front. And so a great display. It has the Gorilla Glass front cover, and so it has a great scratch-resistant, abrasion-resistant display. So for a display that's always available, always accessible, it's really important. The other thing that we'll have here is the 1.3 megapixel camera, front-facing camera to support video conferencing. So a great video conferencing solution here as well. Integrated into the system is the next generation of our touchtone. So that incorporates wireless charging as well as data transfer capabilities that I'll show you in just a little bit. We have dual speakers here for stereo output, and we're also collaborating with the Dr. Dre Beats organization to have great audio fidelity on these systems as well. All of that's powered by a Qualcomm 8060 processor. It's a dual-core processor running at 1.2 gigahertz, so lots of speed in this system. It's of course running the WebOs operating system, and so a couple of things that I'll show you here is about how WebOs is great for multitasking. So the first thing that you'll notice is that it's really easy to move around the system. If I don't want something, I just simply flick it away, but it's really easy to move in and out of applications. Move in an application, I just tap to move out of an application and back into card view. I just hit the center button here. One of the great things about WebOs is that it supports multitasking, and not just from a system standpoint where the device can do lots of things at the same time, but also from a user experience standpoint where it allows customers to be very productive with multiple things at the same time as well. This is our email application, and I'll show you what I mean by that multitasking user interface. So here, let me take a look at an article, and maybe we'll look at this Time article here, and I'll take a look at that in full screen, and one of the first things you'll see here is great HTML rendering, and so that's good. I'll forward this to somebody, and maybe a colleague that I think will be interested in this. This is the on-screen keyboard. A couple things about the keyboard. One is that I can size it to something that's a little bit smaller. It gives me a bigger area to look at the content, but you know, I like the medium key. It gives me a little bit more room, maybe a little bit of the best of both worlds.
Different sizes.
4 different sizes.
Four different sizes.
So you'll see here, there were 4 things popped up.
Oh, so XS, S, medium, and large.
Exactly. And let's say, I would just want to say, you know, let's meet at 5. So I can finish this email now, but I'm just thinking, you know, maybe one of the things that I should check is my calendar, so I can jump out of that email and then look at my calendar. If you remember, I had both Google and Exchange email from Synergy that brings all of those great emails into one single source. My calendar does exactly the same thing. So here I have my personal calendar from Google that I share with my wife. I have my my Exchange calendar rather that I have from work, and even some events from Facebook. I'm just going to take a look here, and it looks like 5 o'clock is already booked, so I better make that change here. Now in the email application, I can come right back to that email that I was working on, or I can go back into the emails that I was looking at and be very flexible with how I work. I can open up another email that I was looking at earlier to Molly, and you know what? I'm going to reply to Molly on here. And so now I have multiple cards open in the interface at one time. I can reply to Molly, I can finish my email that I have to my colleague, or I can just move over to any other application. It's very, very easy and flexible to move around the system.
It's real multitasking.
Yeah, absolutely. So here, you know what? I want to finish this email to my colleague. It was this one here. I want to remember it, but I don't want to finish it right now. So I'm just going to take that email, and I'm going to move it off to the side. And just like, you know, how I like to work, I'm going to save that in my workspace. I'm going to come back to it later, but it's a great reminder that, you know, that I have something to finish there, and I'm just going to move on. Okay, so that's an idea of how multitasking works in our system. Let me show you a couple other things. So in our Photos application, photos these days are not just about, yeah, exactly, San Francisco, hometown. Exactly, you know your geography.
Yes, I've been there.
So our system is not just about static images. Of course, it looks, you know, it's great at viewing those, but it also consolidates all of your photos from different sources. So just like my calendar and email did, all of my sources for photos are here as well. So I have my Facebook photos that are online. The cool thing about that is that without leaving the Photos application, I can take a look at what people are saying about this, and I can see my Facebook threads, conversation threads here. I can reply to that, add a response, and without ever leaving my Photos application. So there's one easy way to deal with all of my digital photos. So I'll jump out at, before I leave this, the other thing that we're doing is some integration with the HP printer group, so I can do a Bonjour search and locate printers that are accessible to me in the area and print directly from the Photos application. So great for being very productive, for doing multitasking and so forth. So the other thing that I want to show you is it's not just about productivity, but it's also about great content on the device. So we're partnering with Amazon. So see a Kindle application right here, and I'm going to move this into portrait mode because it's a little more natural way of reading. And so we're going to look at here. Here's my books that I have in the Kindle app. Oddly enough, I'm looking at a guidebook for Barcelona. It's my first time here, so I'm really enjoying that. This is a great device for reading both images and text on the device, so a great Kindle experience. If I tap, I have different controls for accessing, the Kindle kind of features where it's looking at highlights and comments.
So this is like the real Kindle.
Yeah, exactly.
From Amazon.
Exactly,
so
exactly.
It does support many formats.
Including things like whisper sync. So for example, if you're reading it on a PC, where you're reading to on the PC will show up here as well. So a great solution for that as well. So let's see, I'm done with reading now. The other thing that I want to take a look at is our different types of applications for this device. So most of our developers use standard web tools to develop their application. If you're publishing a web page, you can move that content very, very easily into an application on this device. It uses JavaScript, CSS, HTML. And so that's fine, but some developers really need to port their C or C++ libraries into the system. And a great example of that is games. So this developer produced Armageddon Squadron, and they've taken their libraries and ported it over into WebOs using our plugin SDK, which is called our PDK. And you can see the great performance here. I'm not very good at this game, but it's a great dual-core processor plus the plugin. And before I crash, I'm just going to card that. I can go right back into our multitasking operating system and go to any other application on the device. So very, very easy to move around the system.
Perché non ci deve dare una mossa se vuole fare qualcosa.
Let me show you